Hi, everyone. It's Danny Cade here with the Danny Cade Wellness Show. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Today, here's where you're going to learn how to get more out of life with tips, inspiration, and guidance on topics related to lifestyle, business, family, and of course, wellness. I was really trying hard to do this show live. I know you guys love that, but unfortunately, for whatever reason, I would go to share the screen and it would just go duplicate, 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 like a little tunnel going off to some black hole worm somewhere. So unfortunately, I'm stuck recording this show today. If you do have any questions or anything that come to mind, I hope you do put them in the comments below because it's really helpful for me. All right, I'm going to share my screen here because I want to share that wasn't what I wanted to share. Here we go. See, this is what I mean. We're having issues. This is not what I asked for. Let's try this. Okay, we got to start going. All right, so that's all right. I'm going to use my arrow key. All right, so last week, I'm going to recap a little bit what we talked about. We talked about 4 simple strategies that you can use to kickstart your wellness goals for this year. First thing we talked about is getting rid of your leftovers, and I'm sure that the things like the gravy and potatoes and all those goodies are long gone. But if there's any cookies, candies, cakes, stuff like that, it's time to get rid of that too. Okay, and of course, getting outdoors is very important. We talked about, how vitamin D is created through the sun in us, and we need that. Now, I realize as I say that it's almost minus 20 here in Kamloops Celsius. I'm hearing that it's like that almost everywhere, and everybody's getting some snow. So if you've gotten snow, I'm pretty sure you're out there doing some shoveling, which would constitute some exercise, but do be careful with it. If you're not used to doing it, just do little bits at a time. All right. But it's good to have you out there for those 2 very reasons. You get the outdoors, you get the sun, and you get the exercise that we all need. We spoke about that last time. And of course, the end of the day, we need a good solid night's sleep. Without that, we wake up draggy, our sleep, our whole rhythm is out of whack, and we tend to run to the foods that we think are going to give us more energy. So we eat more of the things we shouldn't be, and of course, that's just another great gateway to sabotage. So let's move this forward. We're going to talk a little bit about the yo-yo diet. We talked about this a bit last time. I kind of think of this as the definition of insanity. We do the same things over and over and expect different results, but it doesn't work that way. So let's go to here where we're going to talk about one of the top New Year's resolutions. I'm sure we've all made it, is a commitment to losing some weight. Okay, very interesting little fact for you guys. Usually by the 12th of this month, what is it, the 11th? Yep. Usually by the 12th, a good 80% of the people who have made that resolution have gone, done, not doing it, we'll try next year. So that was kind of redundant. And there's a reason for that, because most diet programs, they put you on that never-ending yo-yo cycle, and we're going to get into that in a minute. But the other thing too is that a lot of them are really not very safe. You're not getting the nutritions that you need. It'll totally X-may certain parts of your diet that you should have, in moderation, and that's a whole nother story altogether. So, what is that yo-yo? Okay, so we're going to get into that. At the beginning of the diet, your scale seems to be going in the right direction. You're seeing the numbers drop and it feels really, really good. But what you're not realizing is that not only are you losing body fat, but you're also losing the muscle. And this is why we call it a yo-yo. And there's a reason you want to worry about losing muscle, because if you lose your muscle, that's what's going to slow down your metabolism. The more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism. And that, of course, is going to make it harder for you to continue losing weight because you're not burning those calories anymore with that muscle. So this is why, again, a lot of dieters regain all of the weight that they lost within that first year, is because they've lost the muscle. So the metabolism is out of whack. That's not going to work very well. So there's been some weight loss studies that show that a lot of diet programs lead to a muscle loss of approximately 25% of the total weight loss. Okay, so if you lost, let's say 100 pounds, if 25% of that was muscle, well, you're going to actually start going the opposite direction. This is kind of a sad part of that. So muscle loss leads to a lower resting metabolic rate loss. Okay, let's try this slide again. Muscle loss leads to a lower resting metabolic rate, resulting in fat gain, which is what we were just discussing, right? And this is what we call that dreaded yo-yo effect, and we want to avoid that. And in the picture, you can see this is kind of the basic rundown of the story. You start your diet by reducing your calories, and you're losing your weight, but you're also losing muscle, which slows down your metabolism. So then you stop the diet, and then of course the weight returns, and sometimes it comes back with an absolute vengeance. So they've come up with one program that's really good. It's called the Shaklee 180 program. And it's a little bit different than most of the diet programs, as we call it, where you're losing both muscle and fat, because the Shaklee 180 program, it's actually clinically proven to help you lose the weight and retain that lean muscle. And this is why you break out of the yo-yo cycle. So clinical studies are proving that Shaklee 180 works. In 2017, Dr. Wayne Westcott, he's a leading nutritional researcher from Quincy College. He did some clinical studies on individuals who were using the Shaklee 180 program. And on the right, it's there. If you would like that blown up and sent, DM me, let me know. But you can probably come back, freeze the screen, blow it up and see it for yourself. It's easiest. He did find that there was some remarkable weight loss in that. And in general, 14 pounds of muscle, or sorry, not muscle, 14 pounds of fat was lost. 4 pounds of muscle was gained. That's where I was trying to go. My brain and my mouth aren't syncing up here. And in general, the BMI index went down by 5.75%. That's your body mass index of fat loss. So we were quite happy with that. There's a little video here I'm going to share with you. It's Dr. Westcott. He's discussing, at least I think I'm going to, maybe I'm not. I'm having more issues again. Isn't this awesome? How do I get my bar out of the way to do this? Bear with me. Oh yeah, let's go to another slide. Okay, maybe I'm not going to. Isn't this interesting? Let's try this. We are going to. Yay. Okay. In the short video, he's going to discuss the weight loss success that he's discovered in his research.
We developed an interest in research related to protein enhancement of exercise performance, muscular development. We said we need someone to provide the protein, and we chose Shaklee because of the excellent reputation they have, their medical directors, their PhDs, and the fact that when they do sponsor research, they don't interfere with the research. We do what we want to do, and we say thank you very much, and they accept what we present. And this was a weight loss study with a specific focus on trying to build muscle at the same time that we were losing fat. And indeed, in every aspect of the study, we found that those who took the extra protein had better results than those who did not. In the first 3 months of the study, we had two groups, a group that did exercise only and a group that did exercise plus the nutrition plan. They were to replace 2 meals each day with a high protein shake or an equivalent protein bar. Women were to eat between 1,200 and 1,500 calories per day, and men were to eat between 1,500 and 1,800 calories per day. We did strength training, about 20 minutes each session, and we also did cardio. We fit that in an interval training program interspersed with the resistance exercise that also equaled about 20 minutes per session, twice a week. Both groups did very well, but statistically, the group that did the exercise and the nutrition plan had greater improvements in body weight, body mass index, percent fat, fat weight, waist circumference, and hip circumference. And those who took the protein shake actually lost almost twice as much fat as those who didn't. We then continued another 3 months And the group that did exercise only now became its own kind of control group in that we added a nutrition plan to them. So we call that a within group comparison. And in the second 3 months, they actually, just like the between group study, had greater improvements in body weight, body mass index, percent fat, fat weight, waist circumference, and hip circumference than they did during the first 3 months. We also had the group that did the exercise nutrition continue for another 3 months in the same manner to see if the results would be continuing in that same beneficial manner, or if they'd get tired of the program and kind of burn out. Interestingly, they lost the same amount of fat the second 3 months as the first 3 months, about 7 pounds. But in that second 3 months, they actually gained considerably more lean weight or muscle weight. They did not burn out. They did not become discouraged. They actually made outstanding results. So we learned from that 6 months is not too long to be on a program of exercise nutrition and still obtain not just good results, but the same results they had during that first 3-month period. The second phase was what we call the maintenance phase. And instead of just stopping cold turkey, which is why most studies fail when they look at the maintenance, and most people regain all the weight they've lost within 1 to 2 years, we said, let's continue the exercise program. Let's go back to normal eating, no more calorie restriction, but let's continue at least one protein shake per day because that seemed to work so well and no one objected to that. We haven't published this data yet, but in general, we were amazed to find that by continuing the one shake per day in the exercise program, we actually continued to add muscle and lose fat during the maintenance program, which means they're increasing the resting metabolic rate, which means even though they're going back to normal eating, they were still able to lose fat. And they lost a significant amount of fat, which I've never seen any other study accomplish that. Typically, you get about 50% of the people drop out of the program. We maintained almost 85% of the people who started during the first 6 months. And those are the hardest months because you have to cut your calories and you're starting a new exercise program. There's a lot of new lifestyle changes that you're making. But we were even more surprised during the maintenance period because, again, there's a whole different mindset during the maintenance. I've done the program. Now I'm back to normal. I can do my thing. But we had basically a 75% compliance rate. So the fact that people enjoyed the process as well as the product was, that was a pleasant surprise to us because most people who are going to enter a weight loss program have not been successful at these types of things in the past. In fact, in previous studies, people that entered our program, it was their 10th time on average that they've tried to lose weight, which means they've succeeded 10 times, but they've also failed 10 times. So in every respect, we were quite surprised at the benefits of not just stopping cold turkey, but continuing a lifetime exercise program and a higher protein intake via a meal replacement shake.
Okay, let me see how I get out of here now. Oh my, I love it. I'm supposed to be able to hit escape, and okay, I guess not. We're going to do this a different way. That's all right. Okay, let me get back to where we're supposed to be, over here. Okay, I hope you guys got something out of that video. There's an awful lot to what he's saying that resonates with me very much so. The times that I have put on a few extra pounds, like over the Christmas holidays, the 2 shakes a day, I absolutely love. So we're going to move forward to the next slide, and you guys have probably heard me talk about this a few times now, and I'm going to keep at it because it's next week. This coming Wednesday, we have Leaner for Life 2024, and that's going to be our famous Dr. Bruce Daggy joining us on that. And he's a distinguished expert in the field expert in the field. And he's also a chief science officer for Shackley. He's been with them from 2013 to 2018. So we're going to uncover some of the secrets to breaking that yo-yo cycle in this webinar. I really hope that you're going to join us on that. And now the next slide. Thank you. Sometimes my keyboard works, sometimes it doesn't. So I really hope you join us for that because it is going to be a great discussion on not just getting rid of the pounds, but we also want to make sure that we keep those pounds off, not for a little while, but for good. Would be kind of nice. So I'm going to do a quick recap. I know I've taken some of your time here and I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Quick recap for you. Most diet programs, they're either unsafe or they're going to put you on that never-ending yo-yo cycle. And I think we all know what that is by now. Weight loss studies have shown that most diet programs lead to muscle loss of about 25% of the total weight loss, which completely defeats the purpose. Because muscle loss leads to a lower resting metabolic rate, see, I got it right this time, and that results in fat gain. So that's your dreaded yo-yo effect that, we want to avoid, is the definition of insanity. We do the same thing over and over, expecting different results. So what are we going to change? Shaklee 180 program is clinically proven to help you lose the weight by keeping the lean muscle. That's very important. And as we covered in the video, Dr. Wayne Westcott, he did some clinical studies, this is back in 2017, but he did some studies of individuals that did use the Shaklee 180 program and had some really good results. And the results here, as we recap again, was 14 pounds of fat loss, not muscle, like I said, 4 pounds of muscle that they gained, and they lost a total of 5.75% body fat loss. I'm sorry, guys, I just washed my mouth. I can't do a single thing with it today. All right. Please join me in my discovery group where you can learn even more. There's a link to it right there. And you can describe, I'm sure you can. Some of you can. You can subscribe to my Vitality for Life e-newsletter. And again, I put the link here. So if you want, you can, come back to this and freeze it, copy paste, you're good to go. And we also have the monthly wellness webcast, as I just mentioned, on January 17th. We've got Dr. Bruce Daggy. So there's a link for you as well to register for that. And I think I have covered everything there. Just skimming my notes real quick. I don't want you to miss out on anything. I think that was it. Yeah. So thank you very much again for being here. I definitely look forward to having you at our next event. I want to see you there if you will. And by the way, if any of you would like to, I would absolutely love it if you were to smash that like button on the bottom. That would be very helpful for me. And if any of you are into, something like food preservation, I do something called food dehydration. You can check out my YouTube channel. It's Danny's Dehydration Station. It's got kind of a little bit of a groove to it. Anyway, you can check that out. And I think I've got you covered. So if there's any questions, please post them below. I'd love to address them. And if there's anything that any of you want to discuss with me just privately, feel free to DM me. I would love to help you out. Okay, thank you everyone for being here. I'm going to stop the share. I appreciate it. You guys are absolutely awesome. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now, everyone. Take care.